वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः। एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्ताः स्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया पर्युपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यमव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम्। सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धया ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषामव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिर्वाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परा अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धरता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्। मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय। अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ज्ञानात् कर्मफलत्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी। सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैर्मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः। अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः। समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समः सङ्गविवर्जितः। तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः। ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्दधाना मत्परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। उपस्थित भगवत भक्तों के रूप में मेरी अपनी ही आत्माओं। श्रीमद् भगवत गीता भगवान के मुखारबिंद से निकली हुई अमर वाणी है, और जो भी जीव श्रद्धा सहित इस अमर वाणी को धारण करता है, वो जीवत्व को छोड़कर ईश्वरत्व की प्राप्ति करता है, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं है। ये जीवात्मा चाहे जिस देश में रहे और चाहे जिस भेष में रहे, गीता सबका सब काल में समान रूप से कल्याण करने वाला एक अनुपम एवं अलौकिक ग्रंथ है।
सदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भवतीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। सद्गुरुं तं चरण सरोज निज मन मुकुर सुठा वरनो रघुवर विमल जसा जो दायक फलज बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमेरो पवन कुमार वर बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत तुलित बरधाम अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन वरण विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ बाजू ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूंज जने साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदना तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदना विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस वदन तुमरो जस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादिक मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कभी कोविद कहीं सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीना राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हारो मंत्र विभीषण माना रंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना चुक सहज सजो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर पल जानु प्रभु मोद्रिका मेली मुख माही जलधि लंघि गए अचर जनाए दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे देते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे हो तन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुकल है तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपे तीनों लोग कांपते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं भावे महावीर जप नाम सुनावे नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम भजन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन पर भावे चारों जुग परताम तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदर नाम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंतकार रघुपरपुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चेतन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूटहि बंदी महा सुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा कीजे नाद हृदय महाडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरना मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित हितय बसहु सुरपुर। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय उमापति महादेव की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। You can now gently and slowly open your eyes and know that you are a unique and beautiful spiritual being of pure consciousness, and all you have to do is to shine brightly wherever you go, and you'll be helping the world and the universe. Stay blessed. बोल श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय। परम पूज्य गुरुदेव महाराज की जय। गीता माता की जय।
देवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्ण, जय गुरुदेव। On behalf of Swami Gita Kiranji and Guru Bhai Joshi ji, I extend a very warm welcome to you. Thank you for being with us tonight. Having said that, I'd like to invite Joshi ji to please take it from here. Over to you.
Jai Shri Krishna, everyone. I'm very happy to see that our dear friend Premji Sadhwaniji, traveling from North Carolina right now in Chicago, is joining us regularly. Welcome again to you, Premji, and thanks to Harish and your daughter for putting you on the Zoom. Also, as you know, every Thursday, Moti Melhotraji conducts a satsang. And I want to take a few moments and tell very interesting. It was discussed concept of मैं, my and me, मैं और मेरा. And that is the world problem when we are attached to me and mine. That was the problem of blind Dhritarashtra. That created the Mahabharata. In our life also, any fight or disagreement occurs, makes us sad and uncomfortable. Primary cause is me and mine things. It's me who is it, it's mine who I have to favor. So thank you very much, Moti Mehrotraji, for bringing that concept. I'm always looking for and trying to learn to live. Who am I? Where I'm coming from, where I am, and where I'm going to. So thank you very much. It was very enlightening. Her discourses are 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and that is always in Hindi. This said, I request our brother Ramesh ji, he will take about 3 to 4 minutes to give us some good things from the book he has from Gurudev's Vachan. If Ramesh ji is listening, please unmute your Zoom and take few minutes.
Thank you, Joshi.
जय श्री कृष्ण, जय श्री कृष्ण, जय श्री कृष्ण।
If you have any English, you can read in English.
Yeah, sure. पहला है, मानव समाज गीता को आत्मसात करके स्थित प्रज्ञ ज्ञानी भक्त और गुणातीत पुरुष की महिमा में मंडित हो जाता है। कभी कभी ऐसे श्लोक आ जाते हैं, गुरुजी का तत्व ज्ञान ही है, इसको समझना बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है। गुरुजी समझा सकते हैं इसे, ऐसे ऐसे वर्ड्स की मीनिंग गीता के अंदर। क्योंकि हम लोग तो हिले हुए हैं कि गीता का 12वां अध्याय पढ़ा, बहुत आनंद आ गया, छुट्टी हो गई। लेकिन गीता जो है वो तो इतनी गहरा ज्ञान है उसके अंदर, तो बिना गुरु के वो ज्ञान तो बाहर उसकी मीनिंग निकल नहीं सकती है। Human society having absorbed the essence of Gita gets crowned with the glory of having steadfast, Jnani, Bhakta, and one divide with 3 gunas among them. ये है इसकी इंग्लिश की मीनिंग। दूसरा है, कभी कभी बहुत जो बड़ा काम होता है वो छोटे गुरुजी छोटे अक्षरों में बता देते हैं तो इंसान का उसमें कल्याण हो जाता है। क्या है? मैं शरीर हूँ, सबको पता है मैं शरीर हूँ, और यह शरीर मेरा है। सब लोग इस शरीर को अपना बना के बैठे हैं, जब से पैदा हुए हैं और जब तक जाएंगे। मैं शरीर हूँ, किसी को भी बोलेंगे तो मैं जैसे अभी आपने बोला, जब तक नहीं निकलेंगे मैं हमारा कल्याण नहीं होने वाला है। क्या बोलना है? प्रभु तू 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 तेरा, मैं मेरा को हटा के प्रभु तू तेरा, जो कुछ है आप हो और जो कुछ है आपका है। तू तेरा में चले जाओ, लीन हो जाओ और मैं मेरे को छोड़ दो। तो इस श्लोक में कहते हैं मैं शरीर हूं और यह शरीर मेरा है। इस भ्रांति का त्याग ही मुक्ति है। वाह! मुक्ति सबको चाहिए, लेकिन मुक्ति के पीछे जो छोड़ने का है, जिसको हम पकड़ के बैठे हैं। अभी कोई शर्ट मैंने पहनी हुई है, कहेंगे कि किसकी शर्ट है? सब लोग बोलेंगे मेरी शर्ट है। जब शरीर तुम्हारा नहीं है तो ये शर्ट तुम्हारी कहां से हो गई? और इधर साफ अक्षरों में बोल रहे हैं, अगर तुमने ये 2 काम किए, कौन से काम? मैं शरीर हूं और यह शरीर मेरा है, इस भ्रांति का त्याग ही मुक्ति है। अगर ये आपने 2 चीजें छोड़ दी तो आप मुक्ति के हकदार हो जाओगे। इस भ्रांति के त्याग के बाद बहुत बड़ा खजाना दे रहे हैं आपको। इस भ्रांति के त्याग के बाद पुनर्जन्म नहीं होता। सच्ची। अब ये तो भगवान खुद बोल रहे हैं और गुरु खुद बोल रहे हैं, तो बताइए इतनी बड़ी हस्तियां जो है आपको बता रहे हैं कि तुम्हारा पुनर्जन्म नहीं होगा। करना क्या है? कुछ नहीं करना है, सिर्फ ये बोलना है ये शरीर मेरा नहीं है और मैं ये शरीर में नहीं हूं। इस भ्रांति का त्याग। आई एम बॉडी एंड दिस बॉडी इज नॉट इज माइन। गिविंग अप, बस सिर्फ गिविंग अप करना है। और जो सच्चे है उसको गिव अप करने में क्या तकलीफ है भाई? जो सच्ची चीज है हमारी है ही नहीं चीज, आप उसको अपनी चीज समझ के बैठे हो। सिर्फ गिविंग अप करना है तो हमारा पुनर्जन्म नहीं होगा और मुझे क्या मिलेगा? मुक्ति मिल जाएगी, जिसके लिए सब लोग इतना मेहनत करते हैं, यज्ञ करते हैं, दान करते हैं, तप करते हैं मुक्ति के लिए। इधर 2 अक्षरों में वो मुक्ति आपको मिलने वाली है। क्या? मैं शरीर हूं और यह शरीर मेरा है। इसका भ्रांति का त्याग ही मुक्ति है। इस भ्रांति के त्याग के बाद पुनर्जन्म नहीं होता है। जय श्री कृष्ण।
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you very, very much. And this looks like today's topic in the air is me and mine. Since Nanda Kapoorji is on vacation and we have some time, so I want to request Moti Malhotra ji, who can take 5 minutes and summarize this morning's discourse that she gave. मैं और मेरा, me and mine. I hope she is listening. Moti ji, if you are listening, you can unmute and summarize.
ये बात बता दी, अभी बात तो हमने सब बता दिया, उसमें क्या बस।
Again, you went more expansion, so take 5 minutes and share this. Thank you.
हाँ, बस वही दूसरे अध्याय में जो अर्जुन लड़ने के लिए नहीं तैयार हो कहता है, तो वहां भगवान की शरीर नश्वर है और आत्मा अमर है। इस बात को समझाने के लिए उन्होंने बहुत तरीके से अर्जुन को कोशिश की है कि वो समझ जाए। तो वहां पर वो यही कहते हैं कि जब ये शरीर के अंदर चले जाते हैं तब लगता है कि ये मैं हूँ, धनवान हूं तो मैं हूँ, पैसा है तो मैं हूँ, और विद्या आ गई तो मैं विद्यावान हूँ, मैं धनवान हूँ, बस ये हमारे अंदर चलता है। और जब उस पर अधिकार हो जाता तब हम अपने शरीर पर अधिकार कर लेते हैं और सोचते हैं मैं ही शरीर हूँ, मैं सुंदर हूँ, मैं सबका भला कर रहा हूँ, ऐसा मेरे अंदर आ जाता। मैं और मेरा अहमता जब हम शरीर में घुस जाते हैं तो अहमता आ जाती है, और जब हम शरीर के ऊपर अपना अधिकार समझ लेते हैं तब हमारे अंदर ममता आ जाती है। तो अहमता और ममता यही दो ऐसे कीटाणु हैं जो हमारे शरीर को यानी हमको हर समय बीमार रखते हैं। संसार की जो सारी आसक्तियां हैं, संसार के अंदर जितनी परेशानियां हैं, उनका मूल कारण है, गुरु जी ने बताया, अहमता और ममता। अगर ये निकल जाए, उसके लिए आज ये डिस्कस हो रहा था कि तरीका क्या है। हम पढ़ तो सब लेते हैं लेकिन जीवन में उतारे इसको कैसे, उसका बताया कि अगर हम एक्टिव वॉइस में न बोल करके पैसिव वॉइस में बोले, यानी हम ये न कहे मैंने काम किया, बन के काम हो गया, है ना। हम कुछ भी करते मैंने किया, ये निकल जाए और सिर्फ ये दिमाग में आ जाए कि काम हो रहा है, यानी करने वाला कोई और है अंदर से। तभी अहंकार निकलेगा, जब तक मैं निकलेगा, मैं तब निकलेगा जबकि हम उसको सब्जेक्ट को वहां से निकाल देंगे। यानी जो कुछ भी हो रहा है बस मैं नहीं हूँ, तभी ये हमारे अंदर से। कई वहां पर लोगों ने डिस्कस किया कि किस तरह से हम इस अहंता और ममता से दूर रहे। प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ में हम जो गीता को हम कैसे उतारें, उसके लिए हमारे पास कौन कौन से तरीके हैं। पढ़ तो सब लेते हैं, गुरु जी कहते थे पढ़ी और डाल दी, हम तो वही कर रहे हैं अभी तक, इतना घाटे का सौदा करते ही चले जा रहे हैं। तो बस वो यही कहते थे कि नई जीवन में उतारने का प्रयास करें, वो तभी होगा जबकि हमारे अंदर से अहंता और ममता दोनों ही जो दुश्मन है हमारे, वो निकल जाएंगे। जैसे महाभारत के युद्ध में जब जीत गए तब यही था कि सारे पांडव मिलके डिस्कस कर रहे थे, विविध का दुख मैं गदा ने चलाता तो क्या होता, और युधिष्ठिर का अगर मैं श्वत्थामा को न वो उसको तो द्रोणाचार्य को न मरवाता तो क्या होता, अर्जुन कह रहे थे मैं कर्ण को न मारता तो क्या होता। तो सबने कहा चलो अच्छा चलते हैं बारबरी के पास में, क्योंकि उसने ही उसके सिर में ही पूरा महाभारत देखा है। सारे जब बारबरी के पास गए और उससे पूछने लगी कि बताओ तुमने तो पूरा महाभारत का युद्ध देखा है, बताओ किस तरह से युद्ध हुआ, कौन उसमें विजय का मूल जो है श्रेय किसको मिलना चाहिए। तो उस समय बारबरी ने जवाब दिया कि केवल मैंने कृष्ण का सुदर्शन चक्र चलते हुए देखा, वही सबके सिरों को काट रहा, वहां पर कोई भी नहीं था, सिर्फ एक सुदर्शन चक्र था। तब पांडवों को लगा कि अरे करवाने वाला तो भगवान था, लेकिन हम लोग आपस में अपनी अहंता में ये परिवर्तन मैंने किया। तब उनको ज्ञान हुआ कि सचमुच में करवाने वाला परमात्मा है। ये बस ये दिमाग में आ जाए हमारे कि जो भी करवाता है परमात्मा की कृपा से ही होता है, उसके हाथ में ही सब कुछ है। ये उस समय बारबरीक ने जो जिसको ऊपर आजकल खाटू श्याम जी का बहुत उसका हाथ है राजस्थान में, तो वही बारबरीक का ही वहां पर मंदिर है। तो जिसने ये ज्ञान दिया था इन सारे पांडवों को कि किस तरह से तुम अपने ये लड़ाई छोड़ दो, अपनी अहंता और ममता को निकाल दो। धन्यवाद।
Thank you. Yes, Krishna, very well. Again, the whole thing is, once we know that I am not body and this body is not mine, and whose is this? राम सुखदास जी कभी से ये भगवान का दिया हुआ है, दिस बॉडी इज गिवन बाय गॉड, यू बिलोंग टू गॉड, And once you are convinced that your body is given by God, you belong to Him, then there is no question of death. There is no question of coming back. You never came. There is no problem, no question of coming back. It is His material. He gave you and He took it away. With that said, a very beautiful thing today, me and mine, must be understood in light of Bhagavad Gita, and that can open the entire consciousness. With that said, I want to request respected Dr. Prasadji to please take next 25-30 minutes. We are ready. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Joshi ji. We start with the prayer to Bhagwan and Gurudev. Vansi vibhushita kara navnirdabha pitambara darunabimba phaladarosta Purnendu sundara mukha arvinda netra Krishna param kimapi tattvamam na jane Sthavaram jangamam vyaptam Yena kritsnam characharam Tatpadam darshitam yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Divine souls, Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. We all know that we are going through chapter 6. And we have gone through verses 14 and 15, where Bhagavan talks about how to meditate on me, how to meditate on my form, Sagun Sakar Upasana. We also went through verses 16 and 17, where Bhagavan tells us that in order to have this, to be able to meditate, one should observe certain moderations in eating, in sleeping, in awaking, in all activities. Now we move to verses 18 to 23. Here, Bhagavan is telling us how to meditate on formless Brahma, Nirgun Nirakar Upasana. This is the highest level of Upasana. This is the highest level of meditation, to be able to get absorbed in Brahma, to be able to realize Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahma. I am not the body, not the mind, not the intellect. I am Brahma. That is the highest level of understanding about Brahma. Since it is the highest level and the verses are rather difficult, rather most difficult, let me give you some briefing before we enter into the verses. Now, we all know that chapter 13 is one of the most, is the most difficult chapter in the whole Gita. It talks about Kshetra, Kshetragya, Vibhaga, Yoga. That is this chapter, Yoga. It deals with the body and soul. This provides supreme knowledge of the self and its relation with the body and the world. जीव का शरीर और जगत से संबंध, इसका दिव्य ज्ञान दिया हुआ है इस 13वें अध्याय में. और इसको जानकर ब्रह्म की प्राप्ति होती है. In chapter 6, Bhagavan is talking about a different approach. This approach is through meditation. And through meditation also, one can approach directly. This path is through meditation. There is sublimation of Jivatma into Paramatma. जीवत्व को छोड़कर इस स्वरब्ध की प्राप्ति ध्यान के द्वारा. Through meditation, one is able to give up this notion of that I am body and get merged in Brahma, which you actually are. That notion of Aham Brahmasmi, through meditation is the direct approach. And that's what, since it is a direct approach, this is the most difficult way to do. People have done it, great Maharshi and others have done it, and not that we all cannot do it. It is doable. But we should understand how to go, what are the steps, how it goes on. The method has been described in Ashtanga Yoga of Maharshi Patanjali. Patanjali, this Ashtanga Yoga is the way to follow that path, which is direct path through meditation to be able to reach Brahma, to realize Brahma, to get that highest level. And there is a pathway described I had mentioned this earlier also, but we keep evaluating again and again. It is important that way to have understanding as to what we are talking about. We are talking about an approach which is a direct approach through which an individual can realize the Brahma if he follows that path which has been shown by sages and saints in the past. And Maharshi Patanjali has put that in writing, and there are individuals who follow this path and they get realization. I will not go into all these because this will take long time and we can have some time there to go through. But these are, you know it, all of you are very well aware of this, whether you practice or not. Most of you are practicing also, but these are the ways, spiritual path, which the man who is on the path of spirituality, almost all of them, they follow. And when you follow that, you will derive benefit. The beauty of this path is that once you follow one path, you will find the other path comes forward and you are able to follow the next path. So you go on following one path after another, like you are climbing stair. So these are the stairs there, and you can as you climb, as you get beyond the first stair, you go next one, you can go next one. This way you can keep on climbing. The part, and there are 8 limbs of this called Ashtanga Yoga. 8 limbs of this yoga are 8 of them. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Why I have put all these, that you will be able to follow the verses which come subsequently. In the Bhagavan has given everything, so great detail, you will really feel mesmerized as to how Bhagavan has put in nutshell in these 4, 5, 6 verses. Gagar mein sagar bhada hua hai. The whole ocean is all put into these 4 verses. And that's why this is so very important. That's why I am giving you some preliminary information as to where we are going to approach, how we are going to approach. The verses, they talk about this. We have talked about Vahiranga Sadhana. If you remember earlier, I have used this word. These 5 steps, Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, these are the 5 steps which are Vahiranga Sadhana, external practices, practices from outside to be able to get the mind into a state that it can concentrate, meditate, and get into. So there are 3 steps. The first step is what is called steps of dharana, that is concentration. The mind should be able to concentrate. And remember, there is this path, pratyahar, which is said to be the bridge between the Bahiranga sadhana and the Antaranga sadhana. This pratyahar is a step forward, is a bridge which has to be crossed to be able to enter into the stage where you can have concentration of mind. And that is what is called withdrawal of senses. The senses transcendence. The senses are emptied. Senses do not have food to be able to eat. They are deprived of sensation from outside world so that it doesn't get attracted towards it. It gives up. It transcends. Uparamet. It gives pratyahar. They are the words used to denote that the senses, because it is senses which disturb the mind. Remember, we are talking about how to concentrate our mind, how to have concentration of mind. So the concentration of mind will be better if it is not irritated by sensations from outside. And senses in us are our enemies. These senses, they keep on drawing their attention. They have attraction to the outside world, all sense objects. But when you practice Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, then a stage comes when the senses are no more, our senses do not get attracted. You see, all of us very well know when you are a small kid, we like to have the toys. But you play with the toy, you enjoy it, and you so much involved in playing the toys. Whole day the child spends in playing with the toys. But a time comes, those toys are of no use because he has got out of it. He has transcended that pleasure which he derives from the use of those toys. So the time comes when you go through this process of control of senses, you follow the rules and the attain posture and breath control, you are able to withdraw your senses to such an extent that mind gets cooled. Mind does not get irritated from outside. This is very important. We have talked about this earlier in the verses before, where they are the Bahirang external practices to be able to concentrate. So, when it comes to 6, 7, and 8, these are the processes Bhagavan is going to talk about in the verses from 18 onwards, 18, 19, 20. These 3 verses, they talk about dharana, then they talk about dhyan, and talk about samadhi. These 3 are not the same. They are one step beyond that step and one step beyond that. So in this way, we will have to understand what do we mean by dharana, what is the concentration of mind, and how it differs from what is called meditation. To come to reach the level of meditation, one has to go beyond just concentrating. The flow, if you are having a flow with Bhagavan, if you are meditating, as I gave you the picture, if you are meditating on Bhagavan, first you have to concentrate on one spot. For example, flute, you can have the Mayur Pank or feet, one spot. If you are able to concentrate on one spot for some time, that is the concentration. That is not meditation. Meditation when there is uninterrupted flow of concentration. That concentration which you have at one point, it does not get interrupted. Once you reach that state of concentrating mind so that it doesn't get interrupted, then that is called dhyan. And when you are in dhyan, then what happens? That because of the repeated concentration, then you lose your association, lose your association with yourself. You are, see, will come later on. There are three components of any dhyan. I will come to that later on, but let me. No. Okay, we'll come to that. Come to that in a minute. The what I was telling that there are three components of dhyan. One is the meditator, dhyata. The other is dhyaya. What are you meditating? For what you are meditating? And dhyana, that is the act of meditation. So there is a meditator, there is act of meditation, and there is object of meditation. Where in samadhi, in dhyana, the person is still getting connected with the object goal, but remains connected, and that is not taken away from the three things are still present. But when samadhi comes, then there is kaivalyam. There is only one. There is no this. There is no dhyata and no dhyan. What remains is just dhyaya. I will come to that later on. But let me first start with the process. The verse, the first verse in this series is verse 16 and 18, where Bhagavan talks about Yada viniyatam chittam atmanyevavatishthate nispraha sarvakamevyo yukta ityuchate tada. Before going to explain this, see there are many verses in Bhagavad Gita, many, where Bhagavan says yada tada, yatra tatra, yatra tam. That means cause and effect. If this happens, this will happen. Always reasoning is given. There is nothing in the Bhagavad Gita where it is direction, you must do this without giving explanation. Bhagavan will give you all the reasoning, all the points, and then he will give you conclusion. And then he will say that if you don't do this, this will happen. If you do this, this will happen. So beautiful. No Shastra you will find where so much of explanation is given before one point is fully established. Yatra tatra, when this will happen, then that will happen. Jada tada, yatra yogeswara Krishna, yatra partho dhanrudra, tatra sri vijayo bhutrudravanatir. Not just as it is. Because of this, so this will happen. So here also, Bhagavan is talking about yada. What happens? Viniyatam chittam. That means fully controlled mind. Your mind is fully controlled. Atmani eva avatisthate, rests in self alone. When your fully controlled mind rests in the self, that means you are the individual and there is that self. So at this moment, the sadhaka feels the sadhya is away. Fact is, this is not so. But that is different philosophy. Not easy to understand that. But let us first say, as Bhagavan will take us in that way, there is this person who is understanding, who has controlled mind, and he is now able to rest his attention onto the self. Nispraha sarvakamevyo. All kinds of desires are already have been already. He is free from that. There is no desire of any kind. No desire of any kind. Sarvakamevya. The qualification is kamevya sarve. So all kame. Nispra completely is free. There is no desire available to him to disturb. Tada yukta ityuchet iti uchyase. Then he is said to be established in yoga. You can practice yoga, but you are not established in it. You are only established when your chittam is fully under control and there are no way the senses and sense objects are disturbing you. So there are three components again. Let's see the meaning, what it says here. When the disciplined mind rests in the self alone, it gets freed from all kinds of desire for the sense objects. Then he is said to be established in yoga. Every word which Bhagavan puts in has its own beautiful and deep meaning. Bhagavan is saying here that your senses and sense objects and all desires have all gone. Your mind is fully disciplined and is now able to get connected with the self. That is establishing in yoga. You are now established in yoga. Let me explain in this way. When Jeev, Jagat and Jagadishwar, these are the three things we always talk about. Jagat, of course, is outside world, which is full of desire. Sense objects, it is full of sense objects, and the desire comes in from there. And Jiva, with his body, his senses, his mind, intellect, chit and ankar, his antahkaran and jivatma, the spark of divinity, which enlightens this body. So this jiva is connected to the kamana. All the man is already attracted towards sense objects. But Bhagavan is saying here, and mark the word chitta. I will come to that later on. But in all these, as I mentioned earlier, there is chitta. Three times this word chitta has been mentioned in 18, 19, and 20. And also chitta has been mentioned in chapter 12. I have explained that earlier talks. Just to keep that in mind, we will talk about again later on. So what is happening? Jiva, which has got all these components, the chitta part is purified. Now, once it is purified, then it gets connected to the Jagadishwar, to Paramatma. This is, once this happens, this is cut off. His sense objects do not anymore disturb this mind, which is already purified. This has to be understood. That in this verse, Bhagavan is taking us to a state when the mind is no more getting disturbed because it has been purified. Once it's purified, the kamana and desire and sense objects doesn't disturb this. So it is now free to be able to get absorbed in Bhagavan. Once this happens, then Bhagavan says, yoga, yukta ityuta, he's established in yoga. This concept of getting established in yoga because of the mind purification and because senses are no more disturbing is the state what is called dharana. This is the state of dharana where one is able to concentrate, able to get connected to Jagadishwar and is not getting bothered by the sense objects from the outside world. Now, we have learned this before, that if this impurities in the early stage of mind, when your mind is full of impurities, you are not able to practice yoga. This is dhyana yoga. But you can practice karma yoga. And when you practice karma yoga through the path of sadhana, through yoga of action, one is able to move the ladder on a spiritual ladder and come to a stage when one attains tranquility of mind. Through the process, a person who has got impurities of mind, he can make use of karma yoga, and following karma yoga, one is able to go and purify the mind and reach this state when he is able to meditate. There are individuals who are born, and because of the past karma, he has accumulated so much of punya, merits, that he is born in the families that is given in chapter 6 also later on. We'll come to that, and you all know about it, that one can get born in a family or from past karma, he already has sattvic mind. He is born with sattvic mind. All these Mahatmas, Ramakrishna, immediately he will get into trance and he will get into meditation. He had not to practice meditation or go through the karma yoga and all those. No, he already, Ramana Maharshi, he saw his Atma in front of him. You know all these things. There are Mahatmas, there are individuals born with sattvic. So they are here. They do not have to go to the path of perfecting or path of yoga, because they are born with almost pure or fully pure mind, and they can still straightway sit and meditate and go into dhyan. That means to him, the objects of the world are not disturbing. His mind is in a state where he is able to concentrate and gain and get connected with the Brahma. To get connected and be able to get in that state for some time is what is the situation Bhagavan is talking about in this verse. Now, I have crossed, looks like I have crossed my time. I will keeping time into consideration, I will have to stop. I see my watch, my time is gone. I will continue again. This is a very interesting subject, very difficult, but I'm trying to, from whichever way I can, through diagrams and through writing, I'm trying to make it simpler to be able to understand and try to elevate ourselves gradually into that stage. We all can, one thing has to be in mind, we all can do. We all can follow this path. We all can reach that state. It is not that we cannot reach it. We have to understand it and follow it. Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
And Jai Sri Krishna, Das Prasad. Yes, we can. With the blessing of Gurudev, we can. With your analysis, we can. With the divine gathering, we can. Sure, we can. There's no doubt about it. And also, I will appreciate Dr. Prasadji if you can, sometime, not next week or whenever, discuss what is Chitta and how does it work.
Sure.
That will be very interesting. With that, I request Swami Gita Kiranji to start a beautiful meditation after a beautiful discourses given by many today. Thank you, Gita Kiranji.
Yes, Joshiji, what did you say?
You can begin meditation now. Meditation is done already. I
Done,
thought
it's
just
done.
having a new
It's
one.
done.
With that, I want to thank Premji, of course, ever helping Peterji, Dr. Abhayji, who comes off and on, everyone, Raki ji, Moti ji, Dinesh ji, Ramesh ji, Keshav ji, and I got hypnotized today, Gita Kiran ji. I thought we have moved too fast. So I thought meditation you again. So Peter ji, if you want to say something, because we want to hear some words from you with your divine voice, say something. Anything. Peter ji, it's your turn.
Unmute the microphone, please.
Okay. All right, then with that we can conclude, or Keshav ji, if you are willing to take 2-3 minutes, we have time today. I think you are driving, so I didn't ask you to participate.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yes,
I parked my car and I'm sitting in the car, just relaxing and listening and enriching my spiritual knowledge from all of you. So the beauty is, I don't know what to say. Yesterday I was in another group. I am always in one or the other group. The question came up, loneliness is killing. Loneliness. Here I would like to use two Hindi words, akelapan and ekant. See the beauty in these and the depth in these two words, akelapan and ekant. Oh my gosh. We worldly people cannot live in akelapan. We want somebody with us, somebody around us. Right, starting from when we were kids, we wanted somebody around us. And we have been used to this style of life. And ekant, all the spiritual people want ekant. See the contrast in these two. So the worldly people, they are that way. And the people with we get associated, and those who take us in the progress of spiritual path, that is awesome. And see there are so many words. Path word is Sanskrit word, and English could not find any other word, so they use the word same path, but in English pronounced path. Same word. Likewise, I have heard all the Swamis in another third group yesterday. I raised the issue of Manush, which I think I have talked here earlier also. What is Manush? It is Manusha Loka. Krishna Bhagavan said there are 3 lokas. Manusha Loka, he emphasized on that. Swargloka and Narkloka. All these 3 words are used. Then we talk of 14 lokas. Oh wow, that's true. That's not wrong. Both these 2 words, Mrityulok is Manushalok and Narklok, and the other is Swarglok. So these are 2 words, 2 lokas. Then the rest out of 14, 12 are in the heaven, graded according to the gods, their status and power. Jai Shri Krishna. I think I was awarded a couple of minutes. I have taken longer time.
thank you very, very much. And thank you, everyone. We'll come back again next Thursday. Today was very enlightening. And I apologize, I got hypnotized. So thank you very much. We'll see you again. Thank you, all of you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, everybody. Jai Shri
Jai
Krishna.
Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
जय श्री कृष्णा सिस्टर विलाई
So nice. Have a nice day.
थैंक यू